There's 3.2 billion Christians in the world.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church has what, $10 billion in art and money? 400,000 churches in America. You're going to leave the world looking like this? I mean, listen, what about all the churches in Phoenix? These homeless people have nothing, man. Yeah. The inner cities are these homeless teen shelters. Listen, dude, I took my son in and out of homeless teen shelters. I've been in over 100 homeless teen shelters. Right now, what I'm doing in Maddix Missions is we are going to, one by one, we are going to paint and, decorate every homeless teen shelter in America. Like, why hasn't Christianity already done this? Our homeless teen shelters have crap food. They have gray, dingy looking walls. Many of them have no air conditioning. And I can take, these are not teenagers that are in these shelters, Patrick, because they robbed a bank, they raped somebody, they're jerks. No, these are innocent teens that have been in and out of foster homes that, I've met them that have cuts all the way down their wrists. And I ask them, why do you do that? Because I talk raw with them. When I get up and talk to them, that's how Caleb Maddix grew up speaking in homeless teen shelters. That's why he's so powerful now. And because that's not easy to speak in those environments. But there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of brokenness. They have no family. Their dad's in prison. Their mom's dead. They have no grandmas. They've been in and out of foster care. Many of them have been raped and abused. It's depressing in there. I've gone in there, Patrick, where there were 200 homeless teens. And all I kept thinking as I looked in their eyes is, what if that was Caleb? And that's why I'm so on a mission. And I'm disappointed with religion. That's why I'm kind of rebellious too, because, I was a pastor. I was a world leader in Christianity. I had millions, that follow my principles in church growth and soul winning. And I was well known. I had a movement. And I left it because I was an honest dad that I couldn't take my son into a world that was going to take him away from God. Even though I believe in God. I prayed today. I prayed, I spend a couple hours a day with God, but I'm on his mission, and I keep it real too. I've had sex outside of marriage, and, I had a glass of wine last night. Yeah. I got high, you know what I'm saying? So, pastors can't talk like this, but a lot of them do it. A lot of them just are fake. A lot of them are just, a lot of churches have millions and they're doing nothing for widows, fatherless kids. I mean, my son's probably bought well over 200 bikes for fatherless kids growing up. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about, how many kids, I would say hundreds, that have LeBrons and Nike Jordans, because Caleb and I would see fatherless kids with horrible looking shoes. You talk about changing a man, fatherlessness is the curse of America. Mm. And a lot of these boys don't have a male role model. They don't have somebody to teach them. And that's why there's so many problems. So what I'm trying to do is help heal our fatherless kids and also try to help end fatherlessness by helping heal our teens and our broken, I'm disappointed in religion. I'm disappointed in the NBA. I'm disappointed in all the sports. I'm disappointed in Hollywood. And I'm disappointed in Disney World. How, with all these resources, do you leave 1.5 million homeless teenagers and you leave veterans sleeping on the streets and you talk about Black Lives Matter? Dude, I can show you millions of beautiful black people that they have no food. They're sleeping on the streets, and white people. But I'm telling you, our world is in some illusion right now, So yeah, I'm kind of, I miss church. I miss the church I was in. I was in the Pentecostal church. There's not a better, in my opinion, there's not a better, that's what I was telling you earlier. And I miss it too, but I also am scared of it. I'm almost kind of like, you know, you're praying for me to be saved. I told some of my family the other day, I said, you know, you're praying for me to be saved. I'm praying for you to be saved, meaning, you know, I'm actually praying for some of my family and friends to be saved from religion, because religion killed Jesus, or, you know, and here you are, you're changing young men's lives that probably didn't have a father.
Young and old.
Yeah, and old. You're right, and old, because they either didn't have a father. How, like Caleb Maddix, okay, the last thing he struggles with is talking to girls.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he has you for a father.
Yeah, I mean, he lived with a master for 18, 17 years. Anyway, enough about that. What are your thoughts on all that I just shared?
Oh, man. Well, I totally agree with the homeless problem. And, you know, I'll be honest, I was kind of naive to it especially when I lived in Scottsdale. But when I moved to this apartment specifically, it was like I was depressed for 2 weeks because I go from Scottsdale, where you don't see it, at least not out in the open.
Not as much here. Yeah.
But I come here and it's everywhere, you know, and it kind of made me feel, you know, scared. You know, for my, like, just the power of environment, it made me feel like I don't want to end up there. And at the time, my business was still young, you know, so that was a real fear for me. Obviously, I would have been able to just like hit on my mom and be like, hey, can I come home? But I didn't want to do that. And I think the fact that I burnt the boats allowed me to not do that. You know?
Wow, yeah, that's powerful thought.
Yeah, but I totally agree. It is a problem. And one thing blew my mind when I first started living here. I was working at a restaurant part-time while I was trying to get the dating advice thing off the ground. And I had, you know, because we get paid in cash every night as a server. So I had several ones in there and some 20s. I have it all in 20s and ones, and like try to get it as condensed as possible. So there's a homeless guy sitting here, black, you know, right in front of our door at like 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night or something.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting in the rocks. And I just went up and talked to him for like 30 minutes and then gave him whatever ones I had. And he told me something that blew my mind. He's like, you know, honestly, it's not, you know, we don't always want money. Sometimes we just want conversation, you know?
What he just said was so powerful. I hope you just slow down and listen to that, because you're right. Yeah. Sometimes it's not about the money or even the food. Sometimes they want to feel like a human. What did that feel like to you? Did it feel good? I mean, what did it feel like to hear that?
I've had a couple moments like that with homeless people where I've given them something in the moment, whether it's food or just conversation like that. And I've always felt really like I'm riding on a euphoria, you know, for a little bit. You know, it felt great because whatever stress I have is nothing compared to what he's dealing with.